Good afternoon, everybody. I'll try to run my thing on the screen as you see it, because I'm talking about mentoring like Jesus. Then I'll add on something later. What we do with Cornerstone, I'll tell you the story after, but I think it's better for me to run and then we do. This is what we do. Mentoring is just the seed, as I said. So you can see what we do. We started like this many years ago. I can't tell even the long, but mentoring is the seed we plant for future generations. As we mentor these young people, this is just from wherever you are. You can do it. Nobody is born or nobody is an expert. Said mentoring is about passing on the knowledge, experience, and wisdom and achieving. We're here to learn this, and I know when we go back, we can start straight on this. I also say the only teaching the world needs than ever before is what? Mentorship. And it's very important for us to know that. Then, please go. I said mentoring is a God's call. Like you have heard the previous speakers. I'm not different from them. But if all of us are called to do something, but it only takes obedience. I said God's call calls people for a particular work. He gives them guidance for their work. And God calls personal, it's an individual invitation to carry out the unique task he has given us. This morning, this man was talking about me, said, who is the lecturer? He said, when our bus broke down, everybody, some remained in the bus, the men came out, they were out. And then when I was seated, let me see the men who I gathered. Yes. So I called them on the side. And the message says, God calls the person, it's an individual invitation to carry out the unique task he has for you. While I was seated, I looked at everybody, and everybody was miserable at that moment. I walked out and called the men. I said, come together and let us pray. The two men, as the lecturer said, almost caught my neck. They said, what are you talking? Can God be in this thing? I said, yes. One of this guy explained, you see. I said, yes, this is the moment we need him most. So calls come. Yes, let's go. I said, there must be a common ground if you are to mentor the young people. Common ground is very key. Where do you start from? Because if you don't have common ground, you can't touch them. Tim is here collecting all of us because he knows this is our common ground. So I said, touch their hearts before you touch their hands. With young people, you have to be very careful. Don't just go with your hands. They will not come. Common ground with people helps you have a voice in their lives and influence. Common ground creates change. Common ground helps us to. Now you see me there, because I was a player, as you see, know my story. I'm there with them. We are all dressed the same. And that's how I am every day. Because you must smell your sheep. As a shepherd, you must smell like the sheep smells, isn't it? If you are to do anything with them. You see? Now I also say there must be experience. If I talk to them about football, but they don't know whether I've ever played, it will be a mere talk. They will gang against me. They say the man is just forcing us. But you see, experience helps you to know how to deal with different people and build what? Relationships. Because it's key. Experience gives you confidence. Experience teaches you how to prioritize. Experience leaves you with fewer regrets. Experience teaches patience and deal with adversity. In our group, we were talking and said, we need to start with where we are, with what we know. What experience do you have? Because young people are not, you just don't come to them and just tell them, come and we do this. That's what we do. And so many times we fail. You see? Then I said, there must be love. Most people are hungry. They see challenges as betrayal of their future. We who live in those slums, the communities there, we know how these young people and how those people stay. Transformation comes through association. If you don't associate with them, it's hard. It was tough when Tim was starting with the young people, what schools and what everybody thought will not work. Now everybody wants to join the wagon. It's tough. View people as opportunities, not interruptions. You see? They are not interruptions. Then I said, forgiveness. Most of these boys, you see now, I'm in the prison. It's called a remand home where they are arrested most of the years. I used to go there for almost 20 years. But you go there and talk to them. They need forgiveness. Young people, when they make mistakes, sometimes it's because of their age and what. You need to forgive them. And then blame plus anger equals irresponsibility. So many young people now are so tough. I was seated with someone who's doing a mentor, and I told them, you see, suppressed anger comes out in uglier ways. The good thing, when we are in Kenya, we can't define that. Isn't it? Everybody knows what has just happened a few months ago. Once you suppress them, anger comes out in what? In ugly ways. Now, we have to be careful when we're working with young people. Forgiveness improves mental health. Forgiveness reduces substance abuse. Forgiveness gives you what? Power. You, the mentor. It's not them. If you forgive, mentally, you help them calm down. I said, give hope. Some of these boys on our team who are just nothing completely. You can see some are in the national team, some have left, but they played up to the national team after picking them from almost dust. But what helped us to do that? It was giving them what? Hope. Young people want to see hope. You see, hope develops maturity and resilience. Hope loves anxiety and depression. Hope gives confidence about the future, and hope motivates. What I was trying to do that night with my group was to give them what? Hope. So that we can be resilient to the night. It was tough. It was cold and we were out. And everybody looked at the driver. They wanted to grab the driver. The men are here. They are laughing because they knew. The man wanted us to gang up and burn the bus down. But we said, no, we can't. You see, I said, let's pray. He says, don't disturb us. God is not in this thing. The man was so tough. But he needed what? Hope. Until hope, Gabriel here, Kenneth called him and Gabriel said, they are sending us 2 cars. Hope started building and people calmed down. And with young people, hope is key. You see, hope. They must have it. If it's not there in Uganda, I know where I come from, young people have lost what? Hope. And it's dangerous. Yes. So, now my machine. Equip skills. I once worked with Uganda breweries, and you can see I've ever been in a factory, and I know what it means to work. When I'm talking to these boys about work, I know what it means because I've ever experienced that. So when I say you must learn skills, they will, because they trust me. People will trust you. If young people, if you want to change them, they must do what? Trust you. So identifying your unique personality, you can identify how and where you can make contribution. Skills make you relevant and future ready. Skills empower you and create and innovate. Skills change your language from where can I get a job to which problem can I solve. All the young people are looking that question. If they have that question of which problem can we solve, then our nations, especially for us here in East Africa, we will be above that. So, is that the last one? Release them. When they're on a team, they grow, they do what, we release them and they go. We'll retain those we can use later, but we'll release them to go and see the world. Don't hold on people because they become a problem. Some people who hold on their people, they have trained and stay there, it's dangerous. Let them go and experience life because it helps a lot. Finishing well is more important than starting well. Let them go. I put those photos, I wanted to show you how Jesus did it. He also released his disciples. Know when it is time to let them go. Your greatest contribution to the future is your mentee. It takes courage to do what? To mentor. It's not easy. Anybody can say, I want to do that, but it's not easy, especially when you are mentoring young people, because they are not seeing anybody else. Their eyes are on who? You. And they want to know whether it is there or it's not. Yes. Prayer. When everything is done, you have to pray because you don't know. It used to be so tough for me. Sometimes these boys you hear is in jail. and he's on your team. Police comes and is looking for you. So what do? But you pray for them like everybody else, like a parent, so that their future comes. Prayer is the key in mentoring. Prayer is spiritual communication between a mentor and God. Prayer is a tool for a mentor both in good and bad times. Prayer humbles the mentor by glorifying God as the chief. You are not, for you are nothing. Everything comes from who? From him. You don't know what has taken him to pray for the notes he's giving us, or whatever. He has to pray even before he comes here. You see, because that's who a mentor is supposed to be. You have to mentor. Even when you are just going in the field to teach, you have to mentor. May God give you knowledge and what. Now, I want to talk about my story. Do I have 5 minutes? Don't give me 2. My name's Chamba the Stone. But I used to play soccer, and I was a soccer player. Football, I had a dream of going to play professional football, like all players are in Europe. But I got injured. And when I got injured at the time when I was invited for the national team, something went in my mind. I thought life had come to an end. I didn't know anything would come up. So there were, in my community, there were boys there. I gathered them. I didn't know. Those of Team Mike and what they used to meet these boys in town. They used to use them, carry things and what. But as they say, what? Fate does what? That's how God prepares the way. So as these boys on my way, they were playing, I was trying to teach them. Because in my mind, I looked like this and I saw that these boys want to go where I've been and I have now got injured. I said, I need to do something which is better than that. To make them, how do I develop these boys to be from boys to men, to husbands, to fathers? And if we leave them the way they are, what type of husbands will these boys be? And that was my question. So we came up with vision saying, giving them direction and hope through the love of Jesus. Now, these boys, we started like that, and then the teams, boys, everybody started coming, because in Kampala there was no any other group which could allow those type of boys to come. But they could come to Wolves, and then those of Mike and team Mike and John, the boys told them that, but we have a coach, when they were carrying their bags in the market, like in a city. Then they said, well, we want you to meet him. So they came. When they met me, we started a relationship from that time, and we have never gone back. But the thing is, mentoring these boys has not been easy. The other time I was telling the class, I told them that these boys are tough because they take drugs. That's what they stay on. So I gave them a story. One time, I went for training. Then when I reached the field, nobody was there. And I looked like this. Then there's a young boy who came, he saw me and said, coach, everybody went. I said, went to where? They said, they went to Cambodia. I said, they didn't tell us. And who gave them the passports? Then the boy said, and we were discussing there. The good thing is not the field. They said, they went to Cambodia. I walked with him like this now. I walk. We go a tree like that one, and every boy had slept behind the tree. So Cambodia is when you take the drug and you disappear in another world. So that's why everybody, those who know it, I can see, you know what I mean. And the boys were high. You hear what they call high? That you have now in the plane, you are somewhere. So that's what Cambodia means. So when you meet such boys, yeah, I would also like Tim, if you can allow, to introduce James. James, stand. James has been our friend with the team so much. I don't know. You can ask him questions. If there's anything we have left behind, he will tell you that, no, they are lying to you. But I want to also give a hand to the teams, Team Kathy and the whole thing. Now, we have worked on these boys so much that some of them are doing well, have good husbands, they have families and what. But if it wasn't for Cornerstone, I know it would have been hard. But God used them so that these boys can learn about Jesus. And how do we start? James is there, he has ever been there, even Tim. But you can ask him that, how does Stone start? I just start. We start, every day there's a lesson. The lesson, you have to tie the lesson on the game. You understand? if you want to mentor young people, you tie the lesson on the game, because one can't work without the other. When you are mentoring young people, that's why the common ground is kept. So when I come, I'm going to teach about hard work, but I have to be careful how I tailor it to make sure that it fits everything. So I'd like to tell you that mentoring young people is one of the most interesting things, but it's hard, tiresome, but it is very rewarding. God bless you.